A couple of years ago, when I was talking with a friend about boxing, he mentioned a fighter who was knocking out everybody and might be, somewhere in the future, the next big thing in boxing. He was talking about Artur Beterbiev. And when I watched some few highlights of Beterbiev, I left the screen pretty fast, because I couldn't believe that a fighter who fights that robotic and slow would be anything close to the next big star in boxing. And some years later, I watched a unification bout with Beterbiev and the heavily favorized teammate of Vasyl Lomachenko and Alexander Usyk, the 2012 bronze medalist Alexander Gvozdyk. After seeing the fight, I was extremely surprised to see Beterbiev's hand raised and leaving the ring as a unified champion. This result was something that questioned my view of boxing completely. Gvozdyk was a really great fighter and was most likely to become the next undisputed champion of the light heavyweight division. So how could someone as robotic as Beterbiev destroy him like that? And then I researched and found out that he fought against the current heavyweight champion Alexander Usyk 3 times, at which he won the first, had a close one at the second, and got robbed in the third. Now, you and I might think that these fights probably happened when they were kids, or Usyk had just started with boxing. But no, that wasn't the case here. They had their last fight in 2012 at the Olympics. Beterbiev was 27 at that time, and Usyk 25. 25 is a prime age for fighters. Only in very, very rare cases, it's possible that fighters improve even after turning 25.
Sometimes it's a counterpunch and you get help. Neither guy helping the other in the count. Left, right.
Final minute of the 8th has Floyd Mayweather on the ropes again, delivering combination. Mayweather with the jab, sticks the right hand.
And he's rocked right now. There's opportunities for Alvarez and that goal.
Good right hand from Gennady Golovkin. That right hand might have shook Canelo just a little bit. It might have. As Canelo has his hands down. It might have dazed him. As Canelo...
Романов его ловит на этом. Вот.
Вот еще раз.
Попадешь еще раз. Вот так.
Здорово,
Вот так.
опережает. Явно опережает.
And Beterbiev has, like Mike Tyson, a boxing style that is specialized for professional boxing. Fighters who would beat Tyson in the amateurs would get knocked out in the professionals. Like Henry Tillman, who beat Tyson both times when they fought as amateurs, which was only 2 years before Tyson became the heavyweight champion.
From Los Angeles, California, in the red corner, Henry.
But got knocked out against Tyson after Tyson lost all his belts against Buster Douglas.
He is now. He's allowing Mike Tyson to trap him in the corner. 6 or 7 minutes of fighting.
Well, the winner by a knockout, Iron Mike Tyson.
So when I show or talk about Beterbiev's amateur performances, you always have to take into consideration that Beterbiev's style is specialized for professional boxing and not amateur boxing, and therefore only imagine how good he would have performed as a pro. In this video, I will talk about his amateur career, and to be more precise, only about all of his 9 losses that happened after he became 18 years old. Welcome to Boxing Matrix. Enjoy this video. In December of 2004, Beterbiev had his first loss against Mikhail Gala in the semifinals of the Russian Championship. Back then, amateur fights were 2 minutes long and had 4 rounds. Unfortunately, I couldn't find the full fight, but only the last round. However, the last round alone was enough for me to make an opinion about how the fight was judged. Multiple clear punches of Beterbiev weren't counted, while the missed punches of his opponent, Mikhail, were rewarded with points.
Готовка, выносливость, но нельзя останавливаться, Гал. Галу нужно сделать
То, что он делает всегда, ему нужно движение.
And the referee wasn't doing his job either. In a brawl where Mikhail got either knocked down or slipped, he stood up immediately to keep throwing punches, and Beterbiev was the one who got a warning after he responded to these punches.
Движение.
Ох ты! Открываешь. Кому счет-то открываешь?
Слышали, услышали команду судью. Край. Вот, пожалуйста, вот это гала. Но...
Да.
И поэтому не слышно. Но взорвать.
Давайте посмотрим.
And after Beterbiev pushed his opponent away from a clinch, and his opponent responded with some cheap shots, even then, the referee didn't give a warning to the opponent, but instead left it with a pat on the back. This is what I found in only one 2-minute round. You can only imagine how bad the judging was for the remaining 3 rounds. And Beterbiev had his next loss again 1 year later against the same opponent in the same championship and the same semi-final. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any footage of that fight. However, the fight ended a lot closer, 27-39 for Mikhail, and I can do nothing but think that the same corruption as in the first fight happened in the rematch as well. His next loss was against Evgeny Makarenko. Makarenko has a really interesting record. He was a bronze medalist at the European Championship in 1998. He won the World Championships in 2001 at light heavyweight after stopping his opponent in the 3rd round at the finals. He beat Mikhail Gala in 2003 and stopped him in the 3rd round in 2006. Lost against Andre Ward at the Olympics in 2004 and stopped Bedu Jack in the 3rd round in 2007. Makarenko won against Beterbiev in 2006 at the finals of the Russian Championship after Artur got disqualified for low blows.
Так, я вот продолжу мысль, что что-то вот как-то вот очень прилично ударил сейчас справа Бетербiev. Перник, я сколько раз наблюдал, всегда натыкается на эту руку. Вот как вот сейчас, в данный момент. Видите, боковой слева.
Еще надо заметить, что...
Видите, проваливать, как это делается. В зоне ударов Beterbiev. Он-то хорошо двигается на ногах.
Ну, смотрите, Beterbiev просто какой-то...
Опять стоит. Вот задача.
Вот тогда ведь мы вспоминали Олимпиаду. Тоже тактически был бы проигрывать. Почему? Вот действительно,
Это
преимущество в росте.
Это сильные боксеры. И поэтому он...
He got an immediate warning after the first low blow.
Ну вот, удар после команды «Стоп».
An immediate warning after the second low blow.
Вот ходить и проваливать, как это делает он с Галой на ногах.
And got disqualified after the third.
Хорошо готов. И вот эта вот острота, вот этот удар справа, вот это вот движение на ногах, это...
Повреждение за удар ниже пояса получает Beterbiev. И все, судья снимает его, мне кажется. О, это уже некрасиво. Некрасиво. Он пытается что-то доказать. Но, с другой стороны, мне кажется, и тренер тут не прав, потому что он подошел к Леше, в общем-то, извиниться. То есть...
Ну, удар ниже пояса был, и...
I can't tell you if a disqualification after the third low blow was legit or not. That's very subjective and up to you. I can only tell you that Artur didn't lose because of his boxing abilities or because Makarenko was outboxing him. In fact, Artur was winning the fight, and the more the fight went on, the more Artur was taking over and probably would have even stopped him. However, Artur got his revenge 1 year later and sent him into retirement. Again at the finals of the Russian Championship under 81 kilograms.
Техника и просто безупречная скорость.
Артур Beterbiev накануне.
Ударами не постарается податься, а просто по своим физическим данным, по желанию сильнее на корпусе.
Победил он своего могучего.
His next loss was against Abos Atoyev in 2007. Atoyev was a boxer who knocked out Sergey Kovalev.
Аббасу Атоеву из Узбекистана понадобилось менее раунда, чтобы отправить соперника в нокаут.
Became a world champion at middleweight in 2009, beat Callum Smith in 2011, and became an Olympic bronze medalist in 2012. All these big achievements were at middleweight. Unfortunately, I could only find a part of the last round against Beterbiev, and, not surprisingly, a lot of punches from Beterbiev weren't counted, while Atoyev got 2 points for one punch.
Сейчас бой закончится с таким счетом, но я уверен, на 200%.
But that wouldn't matter much, since they would fight again 6 months later, at which Atoyev would lose by disqualification and would lose again 6 months later at the final of the World Cup.
В первом же бою Atoyevu. И вот сегодня
Надо быть очень выборочно и понимать, куда бить.
Который один из тренеров Артура.
Подобие борьбы. Это будет обязательно. Смотрите, закрыт полностью.
Ну вот один удар все-таки у Артура прошел. Мне кажется, вот серийные удары он проводит. И последний удар надо все-таки Вот хорошо встретил, умничка. А теперь он канатов. И давай, вот здесь нужна серия. Сомнения закрались. Думаю, ну такой вот тщательно. Еще раз повторюсь, что
сейчас двинется сразу на встречу.
Да, левый уже так пытается бросить. Да, через руку попал. А то, ну посмотрите, вот эта серия снова, о которой я вам говорил.
Мы можем заканчивать,
поймал, наверное. Ну, рефери надо быть внимательным. Посмотрите, соперник не отвечает. Ушел в глухую защиту, пропускает удары, пропускает. Все, это то, о чем они сидят спокойно, не выбрасывают полотенце. Но еще 30 секунд впереди. Останавливаться, потому что очень тяжелый был раунд. Вы видели, он был на грани нокаута. И вот пошел вперед, посмотрите, есть, оказывается, силы у него осталось.
Поуже надо Бетербиева ударить. Не широко, а поуже, именно.
Вот в этот размах, да, когда начал это демонстрировать. Становится до канатов и там проводить серию. Молодец.
Можно это сделать, потому что...
Еще преимущество все равно вы видите. Чемпион, который победил в Пекине Артура. Ну, если вот наберет такую форму и будет вот так уверенно.
Спасибо, удачи всем.
И Борис Скрипков, всего доброго.
His first important loss was at the Olympics against Zhang, who then would go on to become the Olympic gold medalist. Luckily, this time I could find the full fight, so you can now witness how Artur was robbed.
Не забывай про корпус, Артур. Не забывай. Вот так справа, отлично. Это бокс. Вот бокс, который показывает. Он идет и ломает, китайца бьет. Самое главное, вау! Хорошо,
вот сейчас снизу.
хорошо.
Ну где здесь был удар?
Я не видел удара, вы знаете. И сказал, что все вопросы будут... Бить надо, еще надо бить, надо...
Да. Ну я не знаю уже.
Сковывает его действия. И за вот эту борьбу китовозян на руку, а Китай...
Остается чуть больше.
Хочет боксировать вблизи средней дистанции, но китаец держит его, не дает ему боксировать. Не засчитали, конечно, тут чисто.
Абсолютно повторится ситуация Сеула.
His next loss was against Imre Zello with a score of 12-13 in 2009. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any footage for that fight, but Imre was a fighter that Beterbiev had already beaten 2 times, once in 2008 and another time at the World Championship in 2007.
We're getting into the big fellas now. Yeah, you don't like good stiff jab. Artur Beterbiev, one of the... Beterbiev was just... It's there.
And at last, he got robbed against Pavel Nikitaev at the final of the Russian Championship in 2010. Now, there are 2 more losses that remain. However, we will get back to them later. Now, I showed you all of his losses, and not a single one of them did he lose because his opponent was better or he was worse, but because the judges or the referee would favor his opponent. Now let's talk about his big achievements as an amateur boxer. He beat the unified light heavyweight champion Sergey Kovalev 2 times. He beat Alexander Gvozdyk by TKO in the 2nd round in 2009. Gvozdyk had a record of 9 wins and 0 losses in the World Series of Boxing. He won the Olympic bronze medal in 2012 and finished his amateur career with 225 wins and 30 losses. And Gvozdyk didn't stop with a bronze medal. He would become the WBC light heavyweight champion in 2018 and would knock out Adonis Stevenson in the 11th round to become the most favored champion at light heavyweight.
Удары. Стивенсон.
Есть еще, да, и поплыл. Повело немного ноги.
Здорово! Молодец!
Это нокаут.
And though he was the favorite against Beterbiev in 2019, it wouldn't help him, because Beterbiev was just way too much. Even though Gvozdyk was 2-1 ahead on the scorecards, don't let yourself be confused by that. Beterbiev was clearly winning the fight, and was on his way to get robbed if he wouldn't have stopped him in the 10th.
To ready a Beterbiev from the punches of both.
Start here in our light heavyweight championship fight. Off balance that time at the end. Let's check in with Bernardo Osuna.
I was right behind it. Greg served the commission. The left hand that pushed down on Gvozdyk that caused that knockdown.
In feints occasionally, landing combination.
Yeah, let's inform him that it was overruled upon review on the
jab that time with a counter right hand, but Beterbiev comes back with a right hand of his own and lands a big right hand, and Gvozdyk ties up for a moment. He's willing to throw some most curling and looping right hands combination. That
he won't be moving that way the rest of the night.
With right hands early on here.
Occasionally he'll escape. and the risk that they're taking to define their legacy. I got a lot of respect for that. I'm sure the fans hear me say this every time we have a fight. If he came behind the jab, he can hide his power and slew him. He doesn't want Gvozdyk moving away. He wants to bring Gvozdyk to the power because sometimes Gvozdyk...
Body. And then Beterbiev for...
The plex of Gvozdyk was a heavy shot. And I know Gvozdyk still feels it.
And you see the effects right now, Drake. We see them
for a moment here. It's been a pretty solid champions toe-to-toe here in Philly. End of 4, a quick break, and we will be right back.
And if you lose
away once we get finished with this unification, round number 5, the rare occurrence.
Stepping back, trying to, you know.
Neither fighter are body punchers, but with the punch they do.
And then while Gvozdyk firing back, able to get away from a right hand there. And now tying up on the inside as Beterbiev lets loose. All week long in the pre-fight talk was the right hand from his trainer. There is the right hand of Beterbiev.
The test is the variation of the right hand, Beterbiev.
Just to get on his bike that hurt him.
Yep.
I don't think he's recovered, and Beterbiev knows it as well.
No, he went straight back to the ropes, then made his way over to the neutral. Boy, he really brings that right hand winning.
But they knew about each other. They've heard things about each other. You know the guys that you're training
in the pocket.
And Teddy Atlas just warns him, not too close when you jab.
Yes. Beautiful shot.
Gvozdyk got the better of that, and he hurt Beterbiev.
Good work there. End of 6 is heating up here in Philly. Oh! And a clubbing here looking to unify.
You're giving me your best. I'm giving you...
Tide to continue to turn in Beterbiev's favor by making it a fit.
Punishing when it comes to Beterbiev. I mean,
round, both fighters are taking the round off. The last 30 seconds could determine who wants.
Still sitting right in front for a little bit too long.
There's that left hook from Beterbiev. Right hand to the body. 89 punches landed.
That right hand to the body.
Keeps going there with it. Straight right hand to the end of the round. 93 jabs. When you look at the total punch,
like he's in command.
And then you get these combinations.
He sold it to Gary Rosado. He absorbed the body shot.
But they tangle up, and Beterbiev pushes Gvozdyk off, and then walks right to him and pushes him off again. That's almost the equivalent of getting hit with 2 headshots and 3 body shots. That's a lot
of Beterbiev. He just comes across as the sturdier, stronger, more. Another body shot from Beterbiev. This is a clear Beterbiev round as he's on the attack on the inside.
He's exhausted. That's a big right hand right there.
And Beterbiev is mauling right now. Right uppercut comes in from Beterbiev. 2 undefeated champs.
Walking right back to him. Great work from Beterbiev.
There's a clean right hand right on the temple.
Clubbing.
And he paid for it.
Watch your head, watch your head. Teddy's doing his job. He's saying all the right stuff, and I respect it. But if Gvozdyk doesn't believe it, and I'm led to believe he doesn't believe it, it's to no avail. And Beterbiev doesn't believe that Gvozdyk is a better champion.
He goes down. And Beterbiev is so powerful, so strong.
Push down, push down.
Champions in a unification bout. Beterbiev getting the best of it here on the tail end. And again. Then a short left hand on the inside. Gvozdyk is hurt. Gvozdyk goes down. 10, and here comes Beterbiev. He wants to close the show. Trying to become a Gvozdyk survive here and make it to these championship rounds. Short left hand. He goes down again. Beterbiev is Artur Beterbiev, 14-0 with 14 knockouts, is number 15 in front of him. Trying to come over the top with a right hand. That's it. It's over. Artur.
Beterbiev also beat Uniel Dorticos by stoppage after only 20 seconds. However, after seeing the fight, the stoppage was completely wrong. He beat Michael Hunter in the Olympics of 2012. Hunter is now a heavyweight and has his only loss against Usyk in 2017.
Kilograms, but
it's speed of the light heavy also. There you go. Yeah, so you've got to keep that right hand a lot higher than what it is. But that got the height and reach. Got to use it.
In Milan, in Italy, turns out between them in height. That advantage enjoyed by the...
Cool. And he's always close to his opponents because he likes to work with that with the counters.
Of Russia. Beterbiev's corner, I'm sure, will say to him, you've got to get in closer. Body and Hunter on the blind side of the referee is hanging on there, but Beterbiev is trying.
Well, Hunter's boxing much better when he allows this Russian in on the inside. That's when he's going to have problems.
The Russians were hugely disappointed when Beterbiev lost the American entry in the 91 American heavyweight here in the boxing tournament. Lost home that advantage. Good off the ring. And Hunter covering up and hold on. You try and let that clock tick away. Will be thrilled if they can hang for a minute to go. And do you think Beterbiev has done enough to turn it around? Good right hand from Hunter. That has given Hunter a carry on. Oh, good left hand by the Russian and a little stabbing right into the middle. Last round has been spent in hugging. And just to go. And what do you think, Rich? Done enough?
I think he might have just hung on. Jim, to be quite honest, this is both rusty. They were tense. There's a shot there from Beterbiev, but he just could not find his way through. Couldn't work out this American. That wasn't a bad run. Awful at the end, really.
The winner representing the Russian Federation. Well,
he became the European champion in 2006 and 2010. In 2006, he had 4 fights and won 2 of them by stoppage in the second round. In 2010, he had also 4 fights, but won 3 of them by TKO, and the final even in the first round.
Чтобы победить сильнейшими ударами. Вот уже были все медали в его копилке. А вот потом он может уходить. Он молодой еще совершенно человек. Ох, какая атака. А что творит? Что творит Артур?
Красавец.
Мне сейчас так жалко его соперника.
Снова нокдаун. Ну, возможно, спас.
Все, бой остановлен.
He became the silver medalist of the World Championships in 2007, where he got robbed against Atoyev. He had one early finish there in the third. He became the world champion in 2009, where he had 5 fights and finished 2 of them in the second round.
Şimdi vurdu. Şimdi vurdu, puanını da aldı. Şimdi bir tane daha saydırıyor. İşte içeriden şimdi sert vurdu. Tekrar saydırıyor. Özbek boksör, Rus boksör, gümüşte kalmış. Hakemin bıraktırması gerekiyor ama çeyrek final diye tahmin ediyorum, bırakmıyor ama iniyor, bir kez daha saydırıyor. Bıraktı, maç bitti.
Но видите, оказался прав Александр Бек. Левой, правой. Очень сильный у Расулова, но большинство очков он набрал именно этим ударом.
After Beterbiev was completely dominating the light heavyweight division, he had to move up in weight in 2011 so that Igor Mekonstev could fight instead of at light heavyweight. Beterbiev had to fight at cruiserweight against guys who were 25 pounds heavier than him. And guess what? He still kept dominating. He was so good that he had to move up to a weight 25 pounds heavier than his, and he still kept dominating. Apart from only one guy who arguably beat him, and that's the current unified world heavyweight champion, Alexander Usyk. Now, let's talk about his strongest rival in Alexander Usyk. Beterbiev and Usyk had 3 fights. One in 2007, in which Beterbiev won.
И последние года 2 он прибавил двухлетие, назовем так. Да, его на дистанции. И постараться вот для того, чтобы нанести и попасть, нужно подходить, то есть пропуская, но потом ломая его. Или защищаясь при помощи Потому что сборная команда не готовилась специально к этому.
2 раундов 4-3. Всего одно очко преимущества нашего партнера.
Он хочет просто руками за счет сил атакует. Раз, два. Ну и не надо. А вы знаете, вот я говорю, что он не включает левую руку, вот он сейчас...
Сразу же результат.
Идет и думает, ну что же я не могу взять его, просто поставить в угол к чемпионату мира.
С минимальным перевесом 8-7 начинают боксеры, начинают Beterbiev точный удар. Ясно, кто выиграет сейчас этот раунд.
А я не могу сказать, что это лучший бой Beterbiev. Вот. Но это значение решающего не имеет. И не знает, что делать. Поставил его в угол и не знает, что делать. Бить, наносить. Рюкзак что-то скрикнул с угла. То есть...
Вот идет такой обмен ударами, потому что осталось всего последние секунды. И буквально на последних секундах, называется, вырывает победу наш боксер.
The rematch in 2011 at the quarter-final of the World Championships, where Usyk became the world champion.
Все досрочно подряд.
Тут на одном месте. Надеюсь на вчерашний бой, что он хоть, Андрей, продышаться.
Разного
я вам
стиля.
говорю, мнение тренера.
Есть такое мнение его тренера, и пусть нужно продышаться на тренировке, а сделать максимально все на боях, на соревнованиях. И не важно, это финал или финал.
Артура прекрасно знают телезрители нашего канала. Чеченский боксер, который был большой сюжет был посвящен ему. Что говорить? Боксер, во-первых, достоин Олимпийских игр. И вот это сейчас все посвящено этому. И вы знаете, чемпионата мира, где он завоевал золотую медаль, и решили все-таки нет. Есть вершина олимпийского золота. Стоит пожертвовать еще 2-3 годами.
Ну, Артур же подмял под себя Артура, просто на самом деле, он подавил. И атаковал он ровно столько же. И где эти попадания точные его соперника?
Я вчера даже сказал, что в начале в верническом боксе вот этих судейских, не Ляпов, я даже Станка, в некоторых боях, в бою с Хагабяном, да и сейчас.
То, что сейчас происходит, да, Beterbiev, кому такой бокс нужен? Взять...
вот великолепное попадание справа, сбоку.
Побеждал, наверное. Надеюсь, сейчас
два мощных удара пропустил Усик. Вот сейчас наказывают. Ну что, если судьи вот против тебя, если они... Надо просто ломать соперника, будет досрочно. Ситуации я здесь не вижу. Ну что поделаешь?
Да, сейчас Beterbiev очень такой... Он почему-то слегка зажат. Вот пропустил он 2 удара. Он какой-то не гибкий, знаете, может быть, не быстрый. В ринге, вот что такое? Вот сейчас он пошел назад, а он никогда этого раньше не делал.
А посмотрите, Усик разошелся.
Да, что-то почувствовал. Он что-то увидел, прочный удар. Может быть, какой-то вздох. Это ведь все, всякое бывает. И набрал несколько очков.
Ну вот сейчас, конечно, судьи посчитают вовсю.
Стал Артур вообще остановился. Вот во втором раунде особенно какой-то он не такой неплохо.
Те 2 сильнейших удара, которые он нанес в начале раунда. Я думал, все, он
слишком стандартно идет вперед и... Да.
Отыгрываю, боюсь, что очень сложно это будет. Значит, что Усик второй раунд выиграл.
Выиграл, да. Но счет будет равный. Сходство Усика в 4 очка, это много. Это очень много. Да, возможно, мы немного в самом начале, даже перед началом боя.
Его на турнире, это как ясно.
Украина, да.
Ну, я думаю, что Артур
сейчас он боксирует не в полную. Несмотря на то, что спортсмен победы.
Были пропущенные удары, а...
Это вы встречные удары, но обоюдные, но не в одну же сторону. Вот, пожалуйста, последний удар опять за Усиком. Это что такое? Совершил один удар. Вот подсказывают ему тренеры. Ну, вот еще неплохой удар. Есть шанс. Еще.
Сегодня это первое у нас поражение.
It was a close fight, which Usyk won 17-13 on scorecards. Even though Beterbiev scored a knockdown in the third round, knockdowns don't bring points in the amateur scoring system. However, they leave you with the feeling that there would have been no way that Usyk would have survived that fight if it would have been a professional fight with 12 rounds. And even though Beterbiev lost, he still left an incredible impression there, since remember, Beterbiev's style is specialized for professional boxing, not for amateur boxing, while in Usyk's case, it's the opposite. And the final fight was at the Olympics in 2012, where Alexander Usyk won the gold medal.
In the quarterfinals, Artur Beterbiev, just a couple of years older, Olympic Games. Does have the benefit of one contact against the big fella from the United States, Michael Moore, in terms of scoring to blue Artur Beterbiev.
See this man in red, Jim, it's been a long time. He's got good lateral movements also. Moves well from the waist, as do most of the Ukrainians. Best is Lomachenko. Lines from Usyk here. And this is a good start from Beterbiev.
Speed to the heavyweight defender has to be yes to Artur Usyk. In the full Ukrainian World Championships, Azerbaijan last year. 4 of the men he beat to win that title are here and have qualified. A minute to go. He's forcing Usyk onto the back foot and he's making him miss. So he's brought that light heavyweight stage a serious bruiser. He's a quite good fit himself.
Box for Usyk. He's better in this round than he did. Usyk is starting to find the target. But the pace has been set, the tempo has been set by the Russian. And I think you've hit it on the head there, Jim. He has brought that speed up from the light heavyweight division. And he's nice that he's busy. Very busy indeed.
This is the finals last year by Usyk, the man in blue. At the moment, Beterbiev has impressed in this opening round. A few good sets. There wasn't that much between these quarterfinals of the Worlds last year in Azerbaijan. 17 points to 13 is good enough to carry him through. And he covers up well, facing him yet again. To the left from Beterbiev.
Usyk got caught.
Oh, he's had shot
there, yeah. Just a touch, there's that touch around the side.
There wasn't much in that. Yes, he is.
Around the side.
Yes, he is. It was around the side. He's deemed it a kidney punch, and that was illegal because it was a foul blow and a legal blow. He's given a public warning to Beterbiev. That means in the final analysis, 2 more points will likely score the reigning world champion and world #1 Usyk. Beterbiev knows he's conceded 2 points by what he thought was a good punch. And Usyk realised it was an illegal punch, so Beterbiev comes screaming back again. By far the shortest, to a good left into the middle by Usyk, the world champion, warming up now, determined to pay his man back for that little.
Look at his feet in, let his man on the inside. This is better for here. Beterbiev nearly landed with the shot there, but had more head movement from the Russian. Now he's coming on strong because I think Usyk chose the wrong tactic.
And I think that punch, illegal though it may have been, has taken an awful lot out of Alexander Usyk. And Beterbiev, the Russian, is coming bruising for a good right hand from Usyk, the world champion. He's under a lot of pressure now. Beterbiev giving a go at him. And this is going to be a real test of the stamina of Alexander Usyk. He's had to wait until day 9 here in the boxing appearance in London 2012. And he's under. And this is to come forward. He's got to follow his range here. Jab, create that gap. He's choosing to stand and trade, and this will bring Beterbiev back into it. Better by Usyk at the end. A clubbing, rather clumsy, but accurate left hand got the Russian, who comes back at him with a vengeance. 17-13 the last time they met in the 12. Beterbiev, good left hand for the world champion. Beterbiev comes back at him. He's better than from the Ukraine.
Sinking body shots in again. That slowed him up, Jim. See how his feet just slowed down. Look at that shot.
Beterbiev still has the speed, but unfortunately, he wants to like Usyk with. He would have stopped any light heavyweight in the business. Heavyweight. He wins this one. The countryman, Vladimir Klitschko, the super heavyweight champion in 1996.
Chopping with I think he's got to target the body. This has got to target the downstairs.
It sounds like Beterbiev was towering, but the zip in the punch was not there. Usyk holding on. Good man that he is. Beterbiev comes back. Again, Usyk covers up. It's not the most convincing performance for the world champion, but he's happy with that a week. Last few seconds.
Corner, representing Ukraine, Alexander Usyk.
That fight was a completely misjudged fight. This was an amateur fight, and amateur fights are getting stopped way faster than professional fights. And there are an incredible amount of amateur fights that have been stopped for way less punishment.
This bout breaking into life in the third. Sotomayor again on the ropes. Now, it's all over.
Beterbiev did completely dominate him, knocked him down, which wasn't even counted as that, but instead Artur got removed 1 point. The fight should have been stopped in the second or third round, but at very least Artur should have got the clear win. Instead, he got robbed of his Olympic gold medal for the second time now. Now you saw that all of his losses, apart from the second Usyk fight, weren't because of his lack of boxing ability, but because of the incompetent people that judge and lead the fights. And after that, I showed the insane amount of times where he gets early finishes at events like the World and European Championships, where only the best of the best meet. Then, I told you that he was fighting out of his weight class since 2011, and still was beating guys like Usyk and Michael Hunter. And at last, I showed you how he beat the heavyweight champion of the world, who was in his prime age of 25 years, in a fight that was specialized for Usyk's style and not Artur's. Now, how is that possible? How can someone so robotic beat a technical master like Usyk at his own game? To answer this question, we have to understand better the style of Artur Beterbiev, and who could explain it better than the champion himself?
Я там на республике выступал. Я там в печень отрабатывал, готовился на республику. И в печень отрабатывал, например, утренняя тренировка прошла. Я, например, мог встать на грушу, тяжелую грушу, и повторять печень удар уже после основной тренировки 100 раз, 200 раз, 300 раз, 400 раз, 500 раз. Мог повторять этот удар. И тренер иногда периодически подходил и подсказывал мне вот так, там, чуть-чуть поправлял, да, корректировал. И я эту республику выиграл всех по печени. То есть я все бои выиграл досрочно по печени. Тренируйте.
When I was preparing for an upcoming championship, I trained my liver hook on the heavy bag every day for 30 minutes. And at the championship, I won all my fights, all of them by KO, with the same punch that I was training the last couple of months, the liver hook. This liver hook would be the same punch that would knock down Usyk in 2 different fights. Beterbiev isn't slow or robotic. Strength and a punch also aren't the only things that he has. Beterbiev is a boxer who controls. He doesn't do unnecessary movements. He doesn't move his head or dance around the ring. These missing attributes don't reduce his boxing skills. Instead, they help to perfect the few movements that Beterbiev is training. Perfection is something that's extremely hard to recognize in comparison to good or great. He doesn't have a huge arsenal of boxing abilities, but a small one with perfection. Power alone isn't enough to outbox someone like Usyk. Look at Murat Gassiev.
great job. Jabbing, moving out of range.
Murat Gassiev has massive power. However, against Usyk, he couldn't do in 12 rounds what Artur did in 2. Beterbiev isn't a boxer who dodges 5 punches in a row just to look invincible. He dodges only 1 punch, but answers this 1 punch immediately with a perfected counter.
Потому что очень тяжелый. Вот именно. Вот в этот размах, да, когда начал это демонстрировать.
Хорошо,
вот сейчас снизу.
хорошо.
Вот где здесь был удар?
Я не видел удара, вы знаете.
With right hands early on here.
And if you lose,
this is
kilograms, but Beterbiev's corner, I'm sure, will say to him, you've got to get in closer.
Нужно продышаться на тренировке, а сделать Артура просто, на самом деле, ну, он подавил. И это кому такой бокс нужен? Взять, пропустил он 2 удара.
Beterbiev is a way better boxer than he is getting credit for. A boxer who isn't only strong and got a punch, but also incredibly smart, who perfects the few movements rather than training a wide range of only good movements. And I hope that with this video, I successfully managed to explain why. At the end, you will get some knockouts and highlights of him. This is Boxing Matrix. Thank you for watching.
But undoubtedly the fight that you just watched was the most significant of the last century. As Beterbiev comes clogging in, and there's another right hand that comes in as he chases him down here.
Vernon's being hurt, but he's being discouraged too. And you wonder if he's starting to find tremendous ways to overcome, and sometimes they give in.
Rounds to be more patient. He looked very patient in that opening round. Wanted him to work the body. Now going on the attack and scoring with those shots to the head. And down goes Page. Page tasting the power of Beterbiev, and there he goes down for the 3rd time.
Power, he showed it. I think that certainly is the most demonstrative thing of the night here.
Beterbiev finished now. He showed good finishing instincts in his career so far, and he could be about to get Cloud out of here in the very first round. Cannot last too much longer. He's trapped in the corner, taking punches. He's trying to throw back, but to no avail, and he goes down again.
Out of his mouth. He took this fight on short notice. And then in front of me, he's out of there. And Johnson now takes a right and is up at your life out. You need to get back into the boxing gym. And was that another
Johnson is in the center of the ring.
And a slip and a right hand, and he covers up, and that Beterbiev has to fight out.
Oh, he drops him.